In this video, I want to share with you some examples of what I think are great case studies, and in particular, I want to share this resource, which is Bestfolios, and this is bestfolios.com. It's essentially a resource where you can find a lot of inspiring portfolios and also resumes, specifically also when it comes to the design field. So we're going to examine a few case studies from a high level. We're not going to go really in depth with each since they're quite detailed. So the very first one, which I think is really good, is from Bre Huang, and it's a Uber Scooters platform. So the moment I click here, I'm going to essentially see what the web page I assume was or is like at the moment. So it's just like a picture, but we're not going to really focus on that nor the design. We want to focus on what is it that it's making this case study really stand out and great from someone who's looking at it and evaluating this as a candidate. So first of all, we have the title and some basic information about the project. So even things like the project duration, the client, the team, and his role. These are all things which are quite important right away to understand, as well as the general overview. So I like the fact that he added a single sentence right away, and also went more in depth with the objective of the project and also the approach and the deliverables. Now, all of these sections, as we're going to see in other case studies, they're going to change based on the type of project and the way you want to structure the case study. So there isn't really a right or wrong way for each and every case study to follow, but you kind of want to understand, you kind of want to think about what is it that the potential employer is going to look at and be useful for them to evaluate your process and your work. So as you can see, we have an idea of the process right away. This is really good. I really like the way it's structured. So there's a research phase at the beginning, there's analysis, then ideation, design, feedback, and iterations. So this is actually pretty standard as a high-level process, and this is looking good. Then we have some research, which is always important, especially when tackling a certain type of projects. These are pain points, which again, as I mentioned earlier, it's very important to identify so that we can then focus on the problem solving aspect during the case study, and at the end we can show how our solution improved the actual situation of the client. So as you can see, we have some basic analysis over here, problem statements, use cases, executive summary. So these things are quite useful to understand. So the ideation, like how he went into more detail here. Also this journey map, UX flow, this is really easy to understand, something which I'm assuming it's quite complex. This was not an easy problem to solve, so there was a lot of variables involved. And here we go to the design phase. So as I was mentioning, there's a lot of UX research and strategy even before you touch the design tools. And this is where we're actually seeing some concrete ideas out of this process, and how this idea actually turned into a full flow. And this is looking pretty good in my opinion. Like it's really really good looking, straightforward, easy flow, and yeah, overall this we go into the minute details of the project. There's a lot going on, and I like how he added this behind the scenes, adding some photos also of the team, getting some more personality in there, which is something which I touch upon also in another video in the course. And yeah, this is pretty much it. As we go to the very bottom, there's some other projects, which is a good thing since you want to keep the user engaged with more case studies or more portfolio items and things to do to keep them on the website. Or ideally, you can have a call to action to book a call or a contact form, something around those lines. So really, really good case study. And now let's move on to the very next one. Let's examine a different style. This case study is by André Le. And as you can see, this is an Airbnb VR case study. So pretty exciting project. And I like the fact that he added a big sentence right here, which already gives the idea of what the project is all about, as well as a snippet image giving some more in-depth context as to what the project is about. Brief introduction, really good. And why collaborative VR? It's essentially explaining why they're opting with that solution, that design solution. So this is really good in order to give context that there was an entire thought process behind the project. Again, we don't just want to show them pretty looking designs or creating creative solutions just for the sake of it, but there's actually a reason why. So this is really good. Then over here we have the flow, the process of designing the flow, some sketches which I always enjoy looking at, since it gives like a really in-depth understanding of the process and really liking field. So it's looking cool. All right, we have some 3D rendering and 3D software things going on, so pretty good stuff. Speed dating the concept, I really like how he phrased this in a non-traditional way. I think it suits the project and the tone. It gives a bit of personality as well. And all right, this is interesting. We also have a video over here and closing thoughts. And again, this is looking good. Also has a final call to action. Again, you can see other projects, or you can email me or look at LinkedIn. So pretty smart way, since he both suggested to look at other projects, or if they're ready to contact him, they can do so directly. So pretty good case study overall, and really inspiring. Now let's move on to the very next one, which is from Sahil Koja. And this is another really good example of a case study. This one is, as he was a product design intern at Facebook. And again, we have a basic overview, goals, which are always important to outline, and essentially having some more basic information, discover, define. This is looking good. Current boost states, really like how he added some imagery here in order to further clarify this concept. Before versus go, which is again, it's the same concept over and over again, which I've been insisting on this course, and that is we always want to focus on the before and after, or the pain which we had before and the solution, and the goal that was achieved afterwards. It's always just an evergreen formula that's always going to work. Then entry point to list view. All right, we have some pros and cons of different ideas, different concepts, and there's some explorations here. So he's showing both visual design, but especially like UX and problem solving thinking. Which is really important. Then edit boost other explorations, upsell boost explorations. So we're seeing a lot of things going on, and at the very end, this is a really good impact. Increase the creation of overall boost by 7%, which is great, and biggest feature shipped by Facebook pages from July 2017 December 2017. So this is really good, and although this project at the time of recording this video were not in 2017, we're a few years ahead, but the entire process it's still going to be evergreen when it comes to the structure of the case study. So really good case study, and really interesting. Now another one which I want to show is by Alexandra Won, and this is a case study from her internship at Amazon. So as you can see, we have a image right away of the project, I assume. Then basic informations, again, really cool. So as you can see, like each and every case study is going to be slightly different. There's going to be a lot of variables, and you really have to tailor it to what you think is best for your specific project and what you want to communicate, and also your style. So giving a little bit of basic information here in background. Then we have an image here of Amazon and the customer pain point and problem. So again, you get it. Again, the initial pain point and the problem that they were looking to solve. Customer quotes, cool. So this is really in depth, and something which is really resonating with the marketplace. Previous experience, and then the second one. So yeah, pretty cool. And we have some wireframing going on, some brainstorming, early exploration. So I really like the fact that she's showing these pictures and what the brainstorming, like snippets of brainstorming look like. So this really makes the project more engaging for me as a user, like seeing what went inside. It's really good. And then we up to the visual design. So icon, existing illustration, gradient added. So yeah, pretty interesting, and seeing also the motivations behind them. And yeah, as we scroll down, we have the overall takeaways at the end, and great, good stuff. So overall, you can see the recurring patterns in all of these case studies. There's always going to be differences between one case study and the other. There isn't like one single structure which is going to be true for each and every case study, but you really have to think about it and tailor it to your specific project, your specific style, what you want to communicate. But again, feel free to have a look in this website, bestfolios.com. Really great research, and you're going to have definitely so many portfolios to look at. There's 981 at the moment, so really great place with plenty of inspiring case studies and portfolio items.